All right. Hey, y'all. All right, so listen. So I'm back with another rabbit hole time. RHT. Today I wanted to keep it, well, I won't say keep it simple. It seems simple because pretty much everybody knows, The Matrix. Everybody knows what that movie is, right? And if you don't, don't feel bad. I don't make nobody feel bad. I was about to say, hi, have you not seen it yet? But it's a lot of people that probably haven't seen it. So, just so you know, I'm gonna be talking about the movie. So, spoiler alert, I guess you could say. So, listen. I took notes, right? Uh, I don't want to say, oh, I forgot about the notes that I took because I didn't technically forget, but I just didn't think much of the notes that I took. I'll say that, which is, I think it would have been better if I would have just forgot. Anyway, so, and I also mentioned it, slightly. I mentioned just a tad bit in the last episode, I think. So, yeah, so I want to get into it. So, what I did was, right, this is back in like 2019, I think. I don't know, it just came across me to look up the names. Cause I'm like Neo, you switch the letters around, it's one, and in the movie he's the one. He is pretty much unplugged. He awakens, might as well say. And a lot of us on the spiritual side, a lot of us refer back to the Matrix because the movie pretty much describes us. It pretty much describes a person, you know, in this false reality, 9 to 5, every day the same thing, and he yearns for more. And then thing about Neo though, he had a whole team. What we do too. It's just he was able to like actually. Okay, never mind. I'm not going into all that. But anyway, so let's just go over the first movie real quick, just real quick. So Neo, Mr. Anderson, he pretty much has. I think he was he was just in the office. He was the guy that worked in the office, but it's like in his free time, he did some type. I think he did like coding, if I remember. It's been a while. I think he did like coding or something. Like he was like a hacker, and people used to come to him for certain like things or whatever. And he used to get paid on the side, but he always seemed to yearn for more. Now the thing is, he had already been looking for Morpheus, who pretty much ended up being his mentor. He had already been looking for Morpheus, and he had already figured out that there was a such thing, a matrix. Like it was this, he was in like this false reality, and he yearned for more. It's like he had already been on like the tip of the, what did they say, tip of the iceberg with it. So he had already been searching, and they never really went into any details. It's like he already was aware of Trinity, who was his love interest in the movie. He was already aware of her, and she ended up being the one that kind of met him in person, the first one that met him in person, and kind of pulled him in, and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Recruit. Yes, yes, yes. She pretty much came in to recruit him, right? So she had him, she had hacked into his computer, sent him a little, message, and then pretty much had him meet her or whatever, whatever. So I was like, okay, Neo's name is kind of cute, kind of interesting. And I was like, it spells one, and he's the one. Um, they save him, they unplug him, blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna go into too many details because if you haven't seen it and you just like listening because you do want like where I'm leading or where I'm going to with this, and this is for entertaining purposes or entertainment, whichever one you like. Um, it's it's rabbit hole. Follow the rabbit in the movie. That's how he ended up meeting Trinity in the club. He followed though a rabbit, and it was a rabbit tattooed on the girl. Cause yeah, that was the miss. I'm sorry. Oh, I get excited when I remember things. Um, but it was a girl. Like the dude came to him to get whatever software Neo had for him. Um, and Trinity had, before they came to the door, Trinity had sent him the secret message. It's like, "Hey, follow the rabbit." And he seen the tattoo of a white rabbit on the girl's arm, so he was like, oh, "Okay, that's the rabbit. I'm gonna follow the rabbit," because they invited him to go to the club where he ended up meeting her. So yeah, anywho, so I was like, okay, so his name, and then I was like, well, why not just look up everybody else's name just for the sake of it, just. And so I'm pretty much just gonna go by what my notes, like what I got on my notes here, because it make it a little bit easier. Because I be all over the place, y'all. I really do, and I write notes. Like, listen, I've been doing good. Like, I'm trying to prepare. You know what I'm saying? Because before I just like to wing it, but I was like, I kind of like to have a little bit more structure, and I was going back and forth with that. But I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna go ahead and write some stuff down to do this. So I have actually two notepads, one digital, one old school paper pencil, um, and I still be all over the place. Anywho, but yeah, I'm just gonna go down this list real quick because I don't really want to go into the movie unless I need to for certain parts of like the notes that I wrote. Because like I said, you still might want to watch it. And mind you, these characters now the names I looked up the names from the first movie, the second movie, and it looks like it was just the second movie. I don't think I did the third. Um, I'm not even sure if the third one was out then. It might have been out already. But I know the last one. Of course, I haven't done that one. But because these are old. But anywho, okay. So we do Neo, right? And like I said, it come out to one, and it's a new or revived form of. Like that's the meaning that I found for one, right? Which is pretty neat if you think about it, because it's more than just a number. You know what I mean? And then we have Morpheus, who I said was his mentor. Now, Morpheus, when I looked that up, it was form, shape of dreams or sleep. So to me, that seems like more of like a state that you're in when you're asleep. And which let me see, which hertz is that? I think it's what theta. I think theta. I think that's the one where you're like. I think it's more of a sleep. I gotta look that up too. I forgot. I have it somewhere. Anywho, so yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting because you have Neo, who's a new revived form, and then you have Morpheus, who's the form of, or shape of a dream or sleep, right? Interesting. Now listen, I'm just throwing the information out there. I'm not connecting no dots. You can because I have my own little, if they like to call it conspiracy. I'm not gonna really use that term. I don't like being like put in that category because some of the stuff be hitting, hitting home. Maybe kind of, it don't be so, they want to make us feel like, oh, these things are fantasies and it's just movies. It's not. But that's me. That's just me. I'm not trying to push nothing on nobody. I don't need to recruit nobody. I'm just trying to help. If you already, you know what I'm saying, you already in that boat and you just trying to figure some things out, or you already the type of person that has your own little dots, and you know that you're not connected. Hey, you're in the right place. Okay, so yeah, I'm not like I said. I ain't trying to convince nobody. I'm just saying sometimes you just gotta think outside the box. Some like life is so beautiful. This is a beautiful time to, and I'm gonna say this a lot. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Like this planet, this universe is very, very interesting, and you can really have a great time. Like seriously. So going back, so Trinity. We can go back to Trinity, which is like I said, his love interest, and so you have Trinity, and Trinity means the state of being three. As like anybody who, if you've heard like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Trinity. So it's the state of being three, and it's like because you got Neo who's one, and you got Trinity who's three. Huh. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, and moving on, and then we have Agent Smith. Now I haven't mentioned him yet. Now Agent Smith is like the what's that word? The antagonist, the bad guy in the movie. Um, and I think I need to look up the word antagonist just to make sure I'm using that right. Cause I use it a lot when I talk about villains or whatever. I think I'm just gonna say villains. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like that better. Cause I've heard other people say antagonist. I'm like, it's just. I think it's another word that sounds like that one too. I'm so country, y'all. Ain't no shame in my game though. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oopsie. Anywho, so Agent Smith, and it gets deep because Agent Smith is like the villain. He pretty much wanted Mr. Anderson, Neo, and he always called him Mr. Anderson, which was to me was funny because he was being an a-hole when he was doing that. Anyway, because Neo went by Neo, which was a nickname. Because he, in other words, shitting the name that he was given. You know how that goes. Because your name is not you. So Yeah, and technically you didn't have a choice of your name when you were born either. So I think it was kind of cute that Neo gave himself his own name. And Neo won. No. Okay, so anywho, so Agent Smith, pretty much I like to call NPCs that we have here on our planet, non-playable characters. Uh, I like to call them Agent Smiths. Um, he wanted to keep Neo in the program, just doing everyday basic stuff. Never going outside the box, never unplugging, just sticking to the program. He was also a programmer himself. And it gets deep, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead. And so spoiler, Agent Smith, like and I think it was what, the second movie or the third one, whatever. When Neo ends up beating Agent Smith, it's like he ended up beating him because he realized that technically he created Agent Smith. Like Agent Smith was like a part of him. It's like you couldn't have one without the other. So he ended up unifying with him pretty much and destroying him that way. Kind of, sort of, anyway. But yeah, which is kind of, because it's like, well, wouldn't that mean though? Wait a minute. So wouldn't that mean that Agent Smith was technically Neo's ego or something like that? I don't know. Help me out here. You let me know. I don't know. That's what it kind of sounds that way. Interesting. Okay. And so Agent Smith. Now, of course, when you look up Agent Smith, it's a name. So it's a character. So I did a little research. I did a little digging around. And I don't know why I noted here verb for some reason. I don't remember. I wish I would have left another clue for myself. But Agent Smith came out to be to heat, hammer, or forge something. So pretty much, it's like he molded or something, like pretty much like molded, yeah, to forge with heat and the hammer. Oh wow, because it's like, okay, so if you got the heat ether, okay, you got the hammer, which is you got a little, apply a little pressure, you know what I mean, and then you forge a brand new you, baby. Okay, I can see that, I can dig it, and this is just me connecting dots in my head. I'm just thinking out loud because I'm on here. Like I said, I ain't pushing no ideas in nobody's head. You come up with, you connect your own dots, whatever works for you in your reality. You hear me? Okay. And then we have the Oracle. Now, in the movie, the Oracle, of course, the Oracle speaks for itself. She was, for those who don't really, like, let's say, like, fortune teller, like, but magical person, you can see the future, things like that. That's pretty much what she did. She pretty much saw the future. And so, but the thing was, she was special, though, because she didn't tell people what they like. She didn't tell people what they wanted to hear. She told people what they needed to hear, if that makes sense. And it was beautiful. I loved it. I loved the Oracle in that movie. Like, I love that character. But the Oracle was a priestess or medium when you look that up. And it was, I don't know, like, it was interesting. Her character was very, very interesting to me too. I wish they would have, I don't know. I wish they could have, dug a tad bit deeper with that one, but whatever. Okay, but yeah. So priestess medium, and she pretty much came into Neo. Well, Neo came to her actually, but came into his life. And this is after he's unplugged, of course, and he's aware of the Matrix. He's aware that he has to do certain things and go through certain stages to beat the agents. And the whole goal is pretty much to find that one being that needed to be activated, and he ended up saving other people, and he ended up being like the most powerful person, and he was pretty much the only one that could beat the agents at the time, which was technically himself. Which, to me, it says that, to me, that just says that everything's going on inside of you, and once you defeat your ego, or once you unify and you raise a little higher, I just feel like once you work everything out on the inside, it'll show on the outside. And it doesn't just affect you, it affects the world. And that's beautiful to me, because it's like a lot of people are trying to do this person by person, but you don't necessarily have to. Can you imagine if everybody just took the time out and say, hey, I'm just going to work on myself. I'm not going to, I'm going to find that calm place inside of me, and I'm going to try my best and do my due diligence to stay that way. If everybody did that, then there wouldn't be no conflict with it. But anywho, yeah, and it's like, come on. It's like, of course, I feel like that's possible. I don't feel like that's unrealistic. It's not that you won't get upset or that you won't get along with someone. Like I said before, I've said this 100 times before. You don't necessarily have to be around that person. You can have respect. You can keep your distance. If you both agree to disagree, right? And you both agree to not be negative towards each other, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like each other. But you can still love each other and just keep it. Hey, all right, you over there, I'm over here. Hey, we still can all be at the same party. Is all I'm saying. It ain't about skin color. It ain't about religion. It ain't about politics. It ain't about none of that. Stop finding these categories that split you or separate you. It it's pointless. It's pointless. To me, it's pointless. I mean, but I'm not judging. I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm just one person. But whatever. Okay, so moving on. And then we have Cypher. Cypher was also a little tad. He was salty. I'm not gonna lie. He was a villain. He was salty. I feel like he was so salty. Oh, and Cypher is calculate or compute, right? Deals with logic. Hold on. I think what's a Cypher? Because if I'm remembering correct, I hope I'm remembering this right. I want to say that Cypher was the one that set them up because they were set up by the one of the crew members because he felt like he was fed a bunch of BS and he was having a hard time once he unplugged. And let me tell you something, that's realistic because once you start to have an awakening, at first it's like, oh yeah, these brand new pair of eyes, and it's like, oh, this is nice. But then you really do, after the honeymoon stage, you really do get to this point where you're like, oh my goodness, I just want to go back. I don't want to know some of the stuff I know. I don't want to change some of the stuff that has to be changed. And I feel like that's normal. I feel like that's so normal because you've been doing something for so long, or you've been believing something for so long, and for it to be taken away can have a big impact on some people. And I get it. But he ain't had to do what he did. My man set them up though. And I think I want to say that's Cypher. I don't want to have to. Yeah, I think that was Cypher, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it didn't work though. Feelings don't really win like that, or they don't win that long. But yeah, it didn't work out for him. But he actually made a deal, and to me, I'm still not that upset with him because he once you realize like the deal he made, it made sense because he signed up. Like, okay, they had this one scene where he was talking to, and I hope I'm talking about the right character. If it's not Cypher, then oh man. But anyway, but the character that I'm talking about, and I hope it's Cypher. He went to dinner. He met Agent Smith inside the Matrix because they can go in and out as they please, of course, to a certain degree. But he met him, and they were sitting down eating. And I remember that was one thing because I'm like a foodie. I love good food, healthy. I like good food. He was like eating, and he was like, I know the Matrix is telling me that this steak tastes this way and that this, that, and the third. And it's like you kind of feel for him because when they're unplugged, the only thing they eat was like they had like this slop that they would eat. I don't want to say slop, but it looked like watered down oatmeal. I'll say that. It looked like watered down oatmeal. It looked like it ain't had no flavor. Like it didn't look like anybody was enjoying it, but it was on the food it was the only food they had. Because once you got unplugged, the world that they lived in was pretty much destroyed. They was kind of sort of living underground, and the machines had taken over on the surface, and so it was like they were hiding from the machines. So it's like in the technically what they perceived to be the real world was in ruins. It was just ruins. They didn't really have much. But it's like in the Matrix, and that's that facade. The Matrix looked like, they had everything. They could do anything. They can wear anything. They were powerful. They were tapped into their powers and things like that. So when they tapped back in, it also kind of reminded you of what you were missing because you were no longer part of that, but you couldn't necessarily go back. And that's the one thing about him. He couldn't just go back. It's like he felt like Morpheus tricked him. And because mind you, they had been unplugged for a while, and they had been looking for the one. Like Morpheus himself, he believed in the one. Nobody else believed in him. But it was a prophecy, and he really stuck to it. Like he really believed in that. He believed in Neo. So Cypher didn't believe it. He didn't believe it. He's like, man, you done convinced me to come here, and this ain't it. Like, I want to go back. I want to go back being ignorant. Go back. This was a mistake. I should have never paid. So he made a deal for them to pretty much he was gonna set them up and because they really wanted to get rid of Morpheus because he was the one like really on the mission to find these people and wake these people. Well, this person, the one, and so he's pretty much set up Morpheus and well, pretty much his whole team and some of his team members did get killed. Which also he tried to kill some of his team members himself too. But anywho, sorry, back to the point. The point is he went to dinner and he went to make a deal with him to put him back into the Matrix, and he said, "I don't want to remember nothing." I don't remember nothing and make me rich. And that's that on that. That's the deal. Like, he's like, I don't want to do it. And it's like, I always, I always sympathize with the villains too, though. Because it's like you kind of see where their madness is coming from sometimes. And I was like, I get it. Not saying it's right, but I get it. Okay. So, and I thought that was kind of, these names they were clever with these names because Cypher, he calculated well. I'm not gonna lie. His plan, boy, his plan. If Neo wasn't the one, his plan would have worked. That's all I can tell you. It would have worked. It would have worked. Anywho, so then we have Dozier. Dozier, small character in the movie. He was just one of the crew members. I think, like, I know his brother was more so like on the doing the computers, like because his little brother did like the when they needed to be jacked into the Matrix. He was the one that set them up, plugged them in, things like that. So I think Dozier's just like one of the crew members. Like I think he piloted the like aircraft that they used to be on because they mainly operated out of their ships or whatever that they had that they used to use like underground, and they used to be like inside the ships jacked into the computers. I just, you know what? Why didn't I? That was a major point. Yeah, because they had to come in digitally. Like everything they did, they came in and out digitally, like a computer. And they do say, I watched a few videos that said that it's pretty much what this is. It's a simulation. Interesting. Okay, yeah. Not saying anything. Anywho. So they had this small part with the lady in red. And I've heard of the lady in red. I've done some research on that. And I've seen where they had like the lady in red at different like award shows. And certain people portray that particular character on in our reality, what we would perceive to be reality, in our world on this planet as well. So I was like, I thought that because it was just one small little part with one crew member named Mouse. Oh, I didn't look up Mouse. Well, we know what a mouse is, but he also was a small little supporting character, and he created the lady in red, and it pretty much distracted Neo, and it was like a test, kind of sort of to a certain extent, like, because I think he was supposed to be focusing on something else, but the lady in red distracted him. But anyway, the lady in red is supposed to be vitality or energy, faith, fortitude, or flames of hell. that's extreme. Yeah. So it's like I still, I'm still not exactly sure why they threw that piece in there. Like I haven't come up with any type of guess. I'll say a guess. I haven't really come up with any type of. Haven't connected those dots yet. Haven't come up with anything or any reason why. I mean, I get it to a certain point, but it's still something missing. There's still a gap in there for me. But I just wanted to mention that because maybe you can figure it out. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, and then we have the Matrix. Okay, this is the second Matrix, right? Now listen, your girl, me and words, me and words, and I love reading. I love, you know, I, I, I love trying. I love trying. I should have just watched the movie so I could have heard it. So I don't want to. So okay, I'm gonna spell it for you. Okay, let's see how well you can pronounce it because I'm about to stumble all over this name here. Okay, so this name is Merovin. Is that a G-R-O? Gizn. Mary Mero Vinskin? Merovinskins? I have no idea. But I put that and I put Persephone And I know Persephone. I've heard Persephone before. I think she was a Greek goddess, I believe. But she was like the wife. And for that M word I just spelled, I put Frankish dynasty because I think he was he. I can't. I think that was the guy that had the accent. Him and his wife. And I always loved that character. And they brought him back in the last movie too, and he ended up being like this kind of like um. Well, no, I think he was the guy that had like the vampires working for him or something like that. But it's like he had a lot of influence or something. I can't remember. I didn't really completely understand his character. Like honestly, down the line, except for the last one, the last one was like very out and open and in your face. Like they revealed a lot more in the last one. But like I don't know, like 2 and 3, they kind of tiptoed a lot, and it's like they, you know how they add a lot of, you know how movies do, like to make them seem unreal, they add a lot of stuff to it. They kind of trip shift a little bit. But at the same time, I'm the type of person when I watch things, I like to be careful what I watch. And so sometimes I be reaching, sometimes I dig too deep into something, and I either miss something or I find something that's not there. So I don't know. I'm just gonna skip that though because I can't even pronounce the M word. I can't even pronounce that poor man name. What is that? Maravinzi? Is that Maravinzi? I'm not even gonna. Okay, yeah, we're gonna skip that. Then we have Niobe. I like that name. It just rolls off Niobe. And Niobe's character was pretty strong. She was also in the last movie too. She didn't really seem like that. I could be mistaken. Of course, like I said, I mean, I'm human. Well, kind of. Well, I'm human now. Well, I'm still not really though, cause I'm spirit. But okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get into all of it. I don't want to ever stay on the topic. So Niobe, to me, she wasn't that significant though. But when I looked her up, it was turned into stone or boastful queen. And I put Fern in quotations. What? No, not quotations. I'm sorry. Those are parentheses. I be tripping sometimes. I be tripping sometimes. Oh my god! And you know what? Listen, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I'm just here to give it to you. Listen, you put together what puzzle pieces you can, and what you can't, look it up yourself. Like, because at the end of the day, no matter what someone tells you, and I'm gonna say this 100,000 times, look it up. If you watch the movies, if you don't want to watch the movies, you can just go. Listen, the internet is filled with information. Like seriously, even for listen, I don't care how hard you feel it is. I don't like you really can research keywords, and I'm gonna come back to that. But research, I always have to end this like with research. I always have to mention that with research. Research. That's the main thing about going down these rabbit holes is research. It'll have you feel like you all over the place, but that's only if you're allowed to. If you like me, if you like me, that's why I have to take notes because I'll find one thing and then I'll branch off and be like, oh, this leads to this. Oh my goodness. So please research. Do your research. Watch the movies or watch clips, snippets. You can just look it up. I mean, hey, do your thing. Good. The thing is though, like with these rabbit hole times, like it's more than just these little characters. It's more than just a 2 hour long movie. Like I said before, it's more than that. People be making these or creating these types of things with intention, and sometimes it's good intentions. Like these things really do help. Like I said, you have a lot of people that refer back to these movies, and mind you, the Matrix is old, bro. Like, and that's another thing. It's just like Avatar for me. And since I mentioned Avatar, I might end up doing that one next. But it's the thing is like for me, I feel like I don't know because I don't know how their world goes. I don't know how filming goes. Maybe they do other projects and they want the same actors come back and they have to wait for people to finish their projects. I don't know how it goes. But what I think sometimes I feel like they be having these huge gaps when they make these movies and things, so that people lose touch with them or lose focus. And I think that's why they don't. Cause I'm like, but you'll let Marvel, and I love Marvel. Don't get me wrong. I love Marvel. Just an example, just stuff like that. Like you let all these movies they come out, it don't be that far apart from each other, depending on the situation. And like I said, I don't know how to movie world works. I mean, maybe someone knows more than I do. I don't have much information as far as that world goes, but I'm just saying, like, why does it take you 20 years to give us a part two or something? Why does it? Why does it take that long? Like, why do you keep stretching it out? Like, I feel like the Matrix, that last one should have been came out. I feel like they dumbed down the ones before it, and there's a lot of stuff that they probably took out of the movie. Probably a lot of stuff they won't allow in certain stuff, and I get that. Like, you can't help it. It's just like when you have these content creators and they be banning them off of stuff, and they take their stuff down. They want to remove their stuff and this, that, and the third. And I was like, you do so, these things aren't intentional. I'm like, but this is the thing though. If it's not real, if it's BS, why do you remove it? I've seen things on the internet that had no business there, but y'all will keep that up forever and a day. You'll keep it up there forever and a day. You will recreate these things. But when someone speaks about a certain type of what they like to call conspiracy, all of a sudden they want to cancel somebody, or they want to ban somebody, or they want to shut somebody down. And it's like, I find that odd, is all I'm saying. And it's like, okay, like say for example, someone brings something up. I'm not even gonna name it because I don't want them flagging me either. But but the thing is like, okay, someone mentions something and then you have 1,000 other stories that come out that's almost similar to it, but has nothing to do with that story. But it's like that one, let's say okay, just a wild, crazy example, right? Because I don't want to mention anything that I'm actually serious about. Like I said, I don't want them to try to take my episode off. But anyway, let's say I tell you, hey guys, my tree is talking to me. Like, my tree told me that the Earth's gravitational pull is X, Y, and Z. And my tree told me this. And my tree told me that all trees can talk. Right? And it's like all of a sudden, my stuff gets removed. And what they can't remove it off of, or I keep posting, then they come out with these other stories about these fires. It's a bunch of fires. It's not just in the normal location that they're usually in. All of a sudden, they're everywhere. It's 100 fires. It's these trees this and these trees that, and all of a sudden, it's 100 different articles about trees. So when you go to look for the article or the video I made about my talking tree, you found like Lord of the Rings, because in Lord of the Rings movie they had like the trees, they were talking and they could, whatever. So you finding all that, you got to go to page 300 to find my video or find my article that I wrote about the truth, and they done printed or they done put out 100 false, or they done created. These are the ones setting these fires just so they can have other articles popping up about trees. So when you do go looking for that tree or whatever the case may be, or that tree story, you can't find it because it done got lost in the sauce. I'm just saying, just an example. I'm just saying, pay attention, people. Pay attention. Right now is not the time to sleep. You got enough sleep. Everybody has gotten enough sleep. You should be well rested. If you're here for a reason. If you're hearing this, you're hearing this for a reason. I'm just saying, okay. Back to what I was talking about previously. Niobe. Now, Obi, like I said, I don't know. She was one of the main characters, and they did bring her back, so I decided to go there. And Morpheus, she was his past love interest. They didn't really have they had like this unspoken thing, but it didn't really go anywhere in the movie. I don't know. She was pretty dope though. She had her scenes, she had her moments when she, was like, okay, I see you. This is a nice little supporting character, but turned into Stone, a boastful queen. Okay. And then we have Seraph. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Seraph. We have Seraph. Who was Seraph? I'm trying to remember. Because at the time, I'm pretty sure I had already watched the movie. I can't remember who Seraph was. I want to say that's the guy that met Neo at the train. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, they have these parts in the movie that I don't fully get, but I know they play their part. Because, like, the last one, because I know the daughter who was at, because it was a little girl that was trying to get her. Oh, yeah, because I think, okay, so if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, I don't know, I don't remember who Seraph is, but the particular scene I'm talking about, it was the man and his wife, and they were both programs. And I want to say that they created their daughter, and they wasn't approved to create her or something like that. Because she was like, because each program has a particular function, and if you, I think like if you don't have a particular function, you got to go or something like that. So they had to send her somewhere where she would be safe. Oh, she ended up going with the Oracle. That's right. Um, so I think that's her dad. I want to say that's her dad. But Seraph is the angelic light or purity. Because I know when oh yeah, because Neo was stuck at the train station. I don't know if that's the man though, but I want to say that's him. But I know that Neo was stuck at the train and having a conversation he had with them. They pretty much explained like the train conductor, the guy that controlled or whatever. He was like, I don't know, y'all got to watch it. Like it's so, I'll be here forever trying to explain this. I want to say that's who he is, and that's why I looked him up. Because I mean, the description matches his character, so I want to say that's him. But what I will say is that these, even if that's not the right character, this is a character in the movie, and these meanings. And I'm gonna go back through, and I'm not even gonna read the names. I'm just gonna read the meanings. I think, um, if you haven't had enough of me already, but yeah, but it's just the fact that these names with these meanings in this movie is really what I'm trying to, you know, put emphasis on here. So let's go back. Let's see who's next. Okay. And then we have, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, we have, I think that's Mifu. Is that N-E or R-E? I think that's Mafun? Mafur? Mafur? Mafun? Lord have mercy. Okay, but it's a ship boat. Ship or boat, yeah. It says a Japanese last name. So who was Mafun? I don't remember. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't remember. Is that might have been, was that not Obi's partner? We're just gonna skip that one. I don't remember that character. And then we have Ramakandra. I don't remember who that is. He's a major deity of Hinduism. I don't remember. And then we have Kamala. I love that name. That's such a pretty name. Which is lotus or light red. And then we had Sati, which is practiced in India, whereby a widow threw herself onto her husband's funeral. What is that? Lord, I can't even read my own hand. I be writing so fast. Like honestly, like when things come to me when I'm doing something, I'm real excited to focus. Like my brain just be going. Sometimes my hand don't even keep up with what my brain is trying to put on paper. And I have a whole bunch of other notes that I'm not even gonna get into because there were other things that like tied into this, but not just that. But I went into like matrix and coding and numbers and like characters. It it gets. I went deep on this one, but some stuff I'm not even gonna front. I don't feel comfortable sharing. I feel like some stuff I went too deep. I feel like I went too deep. And if I say some of the stuff, they gonna be like, "Oh no, podcast delete." I don't want to do that to myself. Cause okay, I will say this. This is what I take. Okay, this is what I say. I tell you what I end up looking up. Okay, so after the characters, and I'm gonna skip because the rest of them I don't remember. Um, but hey, it's a good starter for you. I've given you more than enough. I gave you more than enough to go and do your own thing. Like seriously, that's what you want to do. You know. I'm just saying. I'm here to just help you open these doors, baby. Like that. Open these doors, okay, people? Okay. Let me see. So I looked up Matrix, right? No, I can't tell you the results there. But just look up Matrix. Look it up. So, do your own due diligence. Look up Matrix. Look up Unicode. Input methods. Things like that. Things of that nature. Input. Input methods. It's interesting to me. To me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna dig deeper into that because when you know what though, if it comes to it and I feel if I get word that the time is right, I'll come back and I'll share that. I'm gonna ask about that. I'm gonna have to ask. But right now I feel it all around me that right now it's not the time for that. So yeah, but that was it. I really just think that it's interesting and nothing is accidental. Some of the stuff like my imagination is great too, but I know it's coming from somewhere for me as well, you know. And these are not accidental. A new or revived form or shape of dreams or sleep, state of being three, to heat, hammer or forge, priestess, medium, calculate, compute, fatality, energy, faith, fortitude, flames of hell, dynasty, like what's the turned into stone, certain things, angelic, purity. I'm just saying, like when you think of the movie, you don't really even consider these meanings. Is all I'm saying. You know, I just found it interesting. I want to share that little tidbit with you. So outside of that, let me just say, let me just say, before I close this out, um, oh, oh, I had to stretch my legs. Okay, yeah, but let me pull this up here. 1 second. Let me see if there's anything else I can share real quick. Hold on. Just before I make my closing out, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. But nah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I don't think I need to go no further right now. But now I want to say that there's nothing to be afraid of. I always want to remind you that information that you get, please don't let it scare you. Like get excited when you start finding truth and start discovering things. And I mean, yeah, it's no point. There's no point being afraid. Like, please don't do that. And if you have anything that invokes fear, like you have like these, I see like YouTube, and people have like the titles of the messages, and it like invokes fear, like oh hurry up, or like I don't like things like that, because nothing is supposed to, like if you get scared, that's on you. Like maybe if something triggers you, that's you. But for something to want to like scare you and rush you to look at it or something like that, I don't like stuff like that. Like if you got a message for people, it should don't get me wrong. Everything ain't candy rainbows and all this other stuff. Sometimes stuff gets gritty. It gets there. It goes there, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. You shouldn't use fear to have someone or attract someone, because I feel like that's manipulation. That's all I'm saying. I ain't gonna really go too much into that because that's a whole nother podcast. So, anyway, but I just want you, without fear, to consider the fact that you should dig deeper and that you should do a little bit more, and don't be lazy about it. Like it, you can sit with yourself. Meditation is a start. You can sit with yourself though, and really just start asking some questions, because it's a lot of things that don't add up. You start doing it in math, there's a lot of things that don't add up, and the things that's not supposed to add up add up. And you gotta be a free thinker. Like you gotta really, get out of the program and unplug, bro. Unplug. Like right now is the time. Please unplug. I mean, you can just search keywords on the internet. You can go to YouTube, go to Rumble, go to whatever you prefer, whatever platforms you prefer, whatever you indulge in. If you don't indulge in none of that, that's fine too. Go outside, sit under a tree, put your foot in the grass or some dirt or something, sand, whatever you have, If you don't have anything like that, you have an apartment, all concrete, cement, whatever, no trees, no none of that. Open your window, let the sun in. Meditate. It's just ways. It's just different ways to go about certain things. That's all I'm gonna say. Try. Please try. Or you can stay plugged in. I mean, it's all up to you. But no, I don't even mean that. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. It is up to you. It is up to you. Everybody, no one needs to rush. You're gonna do things on your time, not this life, the next, or whatever the case may be, or whatever you believe in. Just be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. I love you because I have no reason not to. And enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for joining me. Bye bye.